Woke up this little moon and my diamonds came in from Elliot. Pearls on that fucking bitch's neck, she so elegant. Shop about the fucking mall, so much made me a resident. This Maybach got 4 windows, tinted on it, feel like the president. How I'm coming, I'm just thinking this.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're going to be breaking down the UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen vs Song. Now overall this is an exciting matchup. I'm excited for this matchup. I really think this is gonna really show if Song has taken a step too far, or if Cory Sandhagen is still on the level that he's been at, or if he's going to take a fall here. His last fight against Peter Yan, there's not really any shame in losing against Peter Yan. You know, he slowly got outpointed as the fight went on. But I reckon Song Yadong could replicate a few of these things in this fight. And I think Sandhagen's going to really have to tweak a few things in this fight to make this his fight. But both people have a way to win in this fight, and that's why this fight's very interesting. I think that there's an easy path for both of them. Not easy, but there's a path for both of them that they could take that could win them this fight. But it's just, how does each person take that path, and how does the other person combat that path? So it's an interesting matchup overall. I think there's a way to bet on both sides here, and we're going to talk about that. But first off, we're going to go over the tally tape. 14-4 for Cory Sandhagen, 19-6 for Song Yadong. So Song Yadong is actually the more experienced fighter here, and he's very young. Like, he's 24 years old with this experience. There's no surprise why he is leveling up the way he is. In his last fight, he knocked out Michael Morales early in the first round. Brutal combination. 2 minutes and 6 seconds into the first round, he got that knockout. And that was only back in March of this year. So he's constantly leveling up his game. And being this young with this type of experience, plus he's been 5 rounds before he lost, but he was like 18, 19 back then. I mean, that's crazy. That's younger than me, and this man was going 5 rounds. So just shows the experience of Song Yadong. 14-4 for Cory Sandhagen. Of course, you know, he had a good run in LFA, beat a few guys, joined UFC, went on a run, lost to Sterling, who is now champ, no shame in that. Beat Marlon Morales, beat Frankie Edgar, lost to TJ, lost to Peter Yan. I mean, it's good opponent. Win against Frankie Edgar is nice. Win against Marlon Morales is nice. Win against John Lineker is nice. But Song Yadong is going to be a real test for him. He is. Average fight time, 10 minutes and 38 seconds for Cory Sandhagen. 10 minutes for Song Yadong. 5'11 for Cory Sandhagen. 5'8 for Song Yadong. So Cory Sandhagen is going to have a 3-inch height advantage here. The reach, Cory Sandhagen is also going to have a 3-inch reach advantage here, which will serve him well in some exchanges. And he's going to need to use it. I don't feel like his strategy against Peter Yan is going to be a good strategy against Song Yadong. You know, he was playing with the hands a lot of Peter Yan. I just don't think he should be that close up to Yadong at any point. I think he needs to be on the outside, leg kick, moving around. I think every time he comes into the boxing range of Song Yadong, he's in danger. Not saying that he can't do something himself, because he definitely can. He's been working on his boxing. We've seen it against Peter Yan. He was switch stances without you even knowing and throw a nice combination, but I feel like it'd be safer for him to be on the outside, where he could win this much more comfortably, in my opinion. We have switch versus orthodox, as I just said. Cory Sandhagen switches a lot, and I think that'll serve him well to confuse Song Yadong. Song Yadong, as I was saying, much younger fighter, 1997 compared to Cory, 1992. And then we go to the striking stats. So both people are very active fighters, and when you watch it, you'll see that Song Yadong is very active with the hands, while Cory Sandhagen is very active with hands and feet, or legs, I should say. But he's just very active with everything, while Song Yadong's a very active boxer. So we've got 6.42 strikes landed per minute for Cory Sandhagen and 4.92 for Song Yadong. 44% striking accuracy for Cory, 42 for Song Yadong. As you can see, very close stats here, very close stats. Overall, Cory should be landing more, but I think it's going to be stuff like leg kicks, body kicks, teeps, and straight punches. While on Song, it's going to be wing and hooks, wing and uppercuts, straight punches through the guard. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Strikes absorbed per minute is also higher for Cory, which makes sense. He's gone into the fire a lot more. He's throwing a lot more, so he's going to get punched a lot more. Cory Sandhagen, 4.50 for Song Yadong, 3.78. Defense, very close as well. 55% defense for Cory Sandhagen, 59% for Song Yadong. So both are defensively sound. Takedown average 0.71 for Cory Sandhagen, 0.45 for Song Yadong. 33% accuracy for Cory, 42% accuracy for Song Yadong. I don't think either men will get each other to the ground in this fight unless one of them slips or maybe they time a really well-timed takedown, but I just don't see it. If either of these people get on top of you, you're in danger. You're in danger. I was watching a fight the other day, and I can't quite remember his opponent. I think it might have been Felipe, and he was just very strong on top. Song was very strong, tight on top, elbows, and he's constantly punching on top. Doesn't really... mixes it well with control, but more punching. Like he's not one of those people who position. I must get the best position. You know, it's get the position and land punches as much as he can. While Cory, very good top game as well, but he mixes it up with the elbows, looks for the submissions. So if either person gets on top of each other, I think the person on bottom has something to look out for. Takedown defense, 67% for Cory, 60% for Song Yadong, 0.4 takedown average for Cory, 0.3 for Song Yadong. Now, how do I think the fight will go? I think Cory is going to be backing up. I think Song Yadong's going to be pressing forward for the majority of the fight, but I think Cory will have his moments where, you know, he'll switch his stances and get that methodical pace going and press Song Yadong back. But I think the majority of this fight is going to be Song Yadong pressing the action towards Cory Sandhagen. But Cory Sandhagen is good moving back. You know, he can find his shots. He really can. You know, he can find his shots at the legs. You know, I like when he's getting pressed, Cory Sandhagen will like pause and stand his ground for a little bit and then circle out. And I could see him doing this against Song Yadong, but he's just got to be careful that Song Yadong doesn't blitz him in those moments of pause. I think there's a clear path to victory for Sandhagen here if he just does a Israel Adesanya approach. Like, as boring as that can be, if he's on the outside just trying to score points against Song Yadong on the outside, kicking, constant kicking. Song Yadong has a problem with kicking. We saw it against Kyler Phillips. He doesn't like kicking. He'd much rather be in the pocket trading punches. Cory Sandhagen can make this a kickboxing fight and just pick at him on the outside, leg kicks, body kicks, wearing him down, making him exhausted. I could really see Cory Sandhagen just getting the decision win, like dominant decision win. But that's just not how Cory fights all the time. Cory likes to get into a bit of a brawl sometimes, and I just don't see him hurting Song Yadong the way Song Yadong could hurt Sandhagen. You know, Cory Sandhagen's never been KO'd. But I don't know if he's fought somebody with the combinations of Song Yadong. When he comes in, he's not just throwing a 1-2. He's coming in, 1-2, uppercut, hook. Like, he likes to find the shot. But in saying that, Cory Sandhagen has good movement, you know. You need someone to be in the right spot to throw a combination. Yeah, 2 of Song Yadong's shots might land, but it mightn't be enough to quite hurt Cory Sandhagen because he's already bouncing out of the way. It's going to be very hard for Sandhagen to finish Song Yadong. Tough chin. I mean, if you watch the head kick Kyler Phillips landed on him and he just ate it. Like, he didn't even flinch, you know. Some people, when they eat a head kick, like Vittori against Whittaker on the weekend, they take a step back, or you can visibly see that it hurt him. Song just ate it. You know, Song's got TKO'd once, but it was very early in his career, 2016, I believe, 2017. Yeah, in 2016, which he would have been about 18 at that time. Very, very early in his career. Younger, probably didn't build into his body as much as he has now. I think Song Yadong can eat a punch, and I don't necessarily think Sandhagen has the power that it would take to hurt Song Yadong. It would need to take something like a flying knee, which is very possible. It is very possible for Cory Sandhagen. Don't doubt it for a second that we won't see a flying knee attempt from Cory Sandhagen, but it's going to take something like a flying knee or a spinning elbow or some type of attack where it's just blunt force, like blunt bone onto head, because I don't see him cracking him with the hands. Maybe a head kick, but that head kick he landed against Kyler Phillips, like that was brutal. Just the way he ate that. I don't know how he does it. It's going to take the up-close boxing for Song Yadong to get the KO, but I think the movement might be a bit tricky for him here. So enough talking about the fight. We've got a bit of an idea. It's going to take Song Yadong to get into the boxing range. It's going to take Cory to play it on the outside and to really try and avoid the combinations from Song Yadong. But if you want to bet on Cory Sandhagen, I'd bet on him by points. As I was saying, I'm not saying he can't KO Song Yadong, because he definitely can. I mean, Cory Sandhagen, 6 of his wins are by KO. I mean, that's 43% of his wins are by KO. I mean, you can't doubt this guy. But I don't see him finishing Song Yadong. I just don't. Song Yadong, 1 loss by KO, and very early on. Does Cory possess the power to finish Song Yadong? Yes. But does Song Yadong have the chin to eat that power? Yes. Like, as I was saying before, it'll take something like a flying knee. And I think every time he goes for something that could possibly knock Song Yadong out, that's when he's putting himself in danger. I think he's much better to play it from the outside. Leg kicks, body kicks, teeps, using his reach, 3-inch reach advantage to just pick at him from the outside, jabs, crosses. Fighting in the range when he has to, but quickly circling out, as I said, while Song Yadong's throwing his combination, it would be smart for Cory Sandhagen to throw a few punches and then dip out. So I think if you're betting on Cory Sandhagen, he's a pretty big favourite. So I would just be going on Sandhagen by points if I was on the side of Sandhagen. Sandhagen by points isn't a bad bet at all. Next up, Song Yadong. Alright, 2 bets for Song Yadong. Usually when it's an underdog and I think that they have a decent chance of winning, I just say take the money line. And I think Song Yadong's got a good chance of winning here, I've got it hedged, in my opinion, just a rough, like I'm not going exactly digits by digits, but 60-40 Sandhagen is what I'd edge this, I think Sandhagen has more tools to win this fight, but Song Yadong's power in boxing can definitely pose a threat. Song Yadong's been 5 rounds as well, so although I don't see him winning a decision, it is possible, especially with the experience that he has. Maybe he's showing something new, He's constantly evolving. He's still a young guy, 24. I still find that mad. And since 2016, we haven't seen him go 5 rounds, He lost a decision to Kyler Phillips, but he was starting to put on the pressure on Kyler Phillips and starting to win that 3rd round. I just think if that fight went 5 rounds, Kyler Phillips probably wouldn't have won that. So, but Kyler Phillips, Cory Sandhagen, 2 different opponents. Cory Sandhagen, well conditioned. He's been 5 rounds before. He knows what it's like. He's experienced in 5 rounds. And I think Song Yadong could learn some things from Peter Yan in this fight, some strategies. He mightn't have the same kicking game as Peter Yan, the same Muay Thai game, but I definitely think he has the more power than Peter Yan, and probably, honestly, the better boxing than Peter Yan. And he's pretty much got the exact same height and reach as Peter Yan. So if I was Song Yadong, I'd be taking some notes out of that game on how to beat Cory. I wouldn't be surprised if Song Yadong does lose the first round by points. But on the same token, if he comes out the way he's been coming out and just catches Cory, that's also a possibility in the first round. It's a tough one to pick, because if he doesn't find that shot, Cory Sandhagen is going to outpoint him. And then it's up to Song Yadong to catch up in those later rounds, which I don't know if he can do. But I got Song Yadong money line because I just think at those odds, 60-40, I don't think those are bad odds to take, and that's going to be my bet, Song Yadong money line, and I might sprinkle a little bit on his TKO KO prop too. Me personally, I'm taking Song Yadong because I just think you got to pick the dog odds, and when I think Song Yadong's on the up, Cory Sandhagen, I wouldn't say on the down, but I think he might have hit a stagnant spot, which I hope not. I hope he can get this win and get back in the title picture, but I can't help but think Song Yadong is on a uprise here. He's really on an uprise here. You know, Cory does leave his chin out. Hand fighting, he leaves his chin out. And, you know, it's going to rely on the movement to Cory to get out of the range when Song Yadong is fighting that, shooting that combination at him, you know. But I could see him catching Cory, and if he catches Cory, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Cory out. I mean, Song Yadong has some real power, some insane power and some insane speed on his punches. You know, Peter Yan was having success in the boxing against Cory Sandhagen, and while you might think the boxing of Peter Yan is better, I know that Song Yadong does throw longer combinations, and he doesn't just throw the 1-2, he'll be throwing a 4-punch combination, a 5-punch combination, and he will chase you until you're far enough away where there's no point to chase you. And I feel like if he strings a few of those together, he could definitely get the KO here. So that's why I've got Song Yadong by TKO KO. I think it'll be at the 4.00 mark. Wouldn't be surprised if it was about at that odds. You know, it could be a little bit less. I don't think it'd be much higher than 4.00. But that's good odds. That's good odds, honestly. I think if Song Yadong wins, and after coming off, you know, two early knockouts, what do we got? Marlon Morales, first round, 2 minutes and 6 seconds in, and then before that, Julio Arce, TKO, round 2, 1 minute 35. You know, he's getting the TKOs. After that, it was decision, draw, KO. He strung these two KOs that were beautiful KOs. I could see him maybe he's added something to his game that is allowing him to be more confident in getting those KOs. So I don't think the KO prop is a bad prop to put down if you're on the side of Song Yadong. Overall, bet on the fight. I've got two. This is tricky. Now, if I had to start round 2, you could just put this in a parlay. I don't think Song Yadong catches Cory Sandhagen in the first round. I don't see Cory Sandhagen catching Song Yadong in the first round either. I see a probably 80% chance it reaches round 2. I'll be putting that in my parlay. Match it up with some other good matchups. And then if you want to get a little bit risky, fight to start round 3 is another good bet. I don't know if I said that round 3, but it is round 2. Fight to start round 2, I reckon it'll be paying it at 1.20. Chuck that in your parlay. Fight to start round 3, I think it'll be paying out about 1.45, and this is a little bit riskier. I'd probably just put a money line bet down on this. And why should you? Why should you put a bet on this? While Song Yadong has the power, I think Cory Sandhagen might be able to avoid it until the third round, and if he's avoiding it very well, that's what we might see for the rest of the fight. I think as the rounds go on, it is going to be harder for Song Yadong to find that boxing combination, but it could definitely happen in the third round. The third round, I could definitely see a TKO from Song Yadong happening. You know, Cory Sandhagen, a little bit tired. You know, he mightn't be able to keep up the same nice methodical pace he usually keeps up, and Song Yadong might find his shot. But the first 2 rounds is going to be hard because Cory Sandhagen will be on, and he'll be very, very methodical, switching stances, trying to confuse Song Yadong, throwing out different attacks. I think it's going to be hard for him to find those attacks in the first 2 rounds. So I think fight to start round 3 isn't a bad bet, but it's a lot riskier, and I just put fight to start round 2 in a parlay. Another good one is over 1.5 rounds too. That's another bet you could place down as well. Now, I've been rambling on a lot in this matchup, but I find this matchup very exciting because I think there's actual value in the dog, but I think there's value in Cory Sandhagen as well. You know, you got Song Yadong on the up, 24, bright future ahead of him. If he can get a win over Cory Sandhagen, he's put himself in that title picture. One more win, and he'll be fighting for a belt. And you got Cory, you know, dropping 2 losses to TJ Dillashaw and Peter Yan. Peter Yan was on short notice, but I think he needs this fight to get himself back on track, or we could be seeing something similar to Dan Hooker, very dominant, very hyped, and then he kind of has a little bit of a skid happening. And, a win to Song Yadong, which in a lot of people's eyes, Song Yadong is somebody who Cory Sandhagen should be able to come out there and dominate pretty easily. It's a step down from a TJ Dillashaw or a Peter Yan, but is it really a step down with all the improvements Song Yadong is making? I don't know. I do not know. Overall, I think 60-40 Sandhagen is what I'd edge it. So if you just want to bet on the most likely to win, I think you bet on the favourite. But if you want to bet on the value, I think you bet on Song Yadong. Anyway, guys, exciting matchup. I'm excited for this one. Good main event. After that, we've got two not so great fight nights. So enjoy this one. If you're a casual and you don't really know either of these people, maybe you know Sandhagen but not Song Yadong, look into Song Yadong. Look into his last fight. That's all you need to see. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be a chess match. It's going to be a mayhem chess match. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Anyway, guys, as always, have a good one, and thank you all for watching.
The channel is fucking mad.